So this week, the credit bureau TransUnion South Africa confirmed it was hacked by hackers who claim to be from Brazil. They claim to have accessed 54 million personal records of South Africans. The group is said to be demanding $15 million, which is about 223 million rand, in ransom for more than 4 terabytes of compromised data, which TransUnion says it will not pay. We explore now how you and I, as consumers, can ensure that our personal information does not end up in the wrong hands. For that conversation, we're joined by Shafeeka Anthony from Just Money Marketing. Shafeeka, thank you very much for availing yourself this afternoon. So in this world of oversharing, even what you're having for breakfast or your pajamas at that, you caution against oversharing on social media. Why?
100% to do, not just even on social media. I think as consumers, we often don't realize that even us as the average Joe could be quite enticing for fraudsters. You know, you don't have to be a high profile person or someone with lots of money. And so we always encourage people to always exercise a vast level of security in safeguarding the information. You know, things like using tough to crack passwords. You know, I read that the password for the breach was actually password. And these are the kinds of things that we really should not be, I mean, as businesses and as consumers, we really should be exercising. So tough to crack passwords, you know, making sure that you keep them to yourself, not clicking on links or attachments from a stranger. And even if it's coming from a company that you know, it's always wise to ensure that, you know, you have done your research before opening up. Because it takes one click or one opened email and you know, they can retrieve your personal information. So it's very wise across the board just to exercise that level of security.
In a country where data costs are still quite high in comparison to some other countries on the continent, you caution against using free Wi-Fi, which might raise a few eyebrows?
100%. So look, the reason we're saying that is because when you're accessing a communal Wi-Fi space, let's say the library or a printing store, a coffee store, you know, especially when you're doing online banking, for example, or having to input your credit card details, it is not, you know, you do not control the firewalls or the security measures that they have in place. It is an open space in that anyone after you, before you, has access to everyone's information potentially that has been there before and after you. So it's always wise to make sure that you are using secure spaces, you know, if it's a friend or a family, your data. I know it can be costly, but at the end of the day, you know, dealing with fraud is going to be even more costly. So I think we've just got to ensure that we keep that in mind.
You also advise to check to see if the site is secure. How will you know as a layperson?
100%. So that's such an important one. I think, you know, people pass on links and we open without thinking, or we see something online that we like. And so it's always advisable to ensure, one, that you are going onto sites that have a reputation. So you know about them, they advertise, you've bought from them before, and never click on links that also never grab at opportunities where you feel your instinct is that it's too good to be true. And this is a big thing for us as consumers. You know, we're always looking for a bargain. We're being thrifty, especially in the COVID times. We want to pick up, you know, specials and deals. But if it seems like it's too good to be true, then honestly, you've got to do your research. And sometimes a quick Google find, a Hello Peter review, you know, just chatting to friends and family, looking at Facebook pages, another one. Generally, the comment section and the reviews will give you a little bit into whether or not that place is a reputable one. So always exercise that extra caution.
If the credit bureau can get hacked, you then wonder what will happen with you and I, especially in this age where data is currency. What then, or what options are available to South African consumers?
So look, I think simple things, right? I know lots of people don't have post boxes. And so when our mail gets delivered, sometimes I can see the letters getting sent and being stuck in between the gate or whatever the wall. And I think something as simple, and we don't often think about it, is a letter from your medical aid, you know, your name, your address, your ID, your banking details. This is information that is so crucial, and that it makes you an easy target. So, you know, I know of so many people who have been in a similar position before. Luckily, some of us, you know, we lose a wallet and there's a couple of hundreds in, and that's that. But if we think about the amount of documents that we keep, you know, we don't need to keep all these things in our car, because what happens if the car gets broken into, as an example? You know, you lose all of that. So one of the biggest tips I have is definitely to keep your documents, your personal documents, in a safe space, and obviously only carry on what you need. But if you have been a victim of fraud, you can contact the police immediately and ask for a case number. But you can also alternatively contact the SA Fraud Prevention Service on 011-867-2234. And you can also visit the website at www.safps.org.za.
Shafeeka, please do indulge me. I'm not sure if you are aware of this, right? But there's a growing number of people who are concerned about their bank accounts, where you find 99 Rand will go missing here, or 80 Rand or 115 Rand will go missing here. And then in those cases, especially when you go to the bank and they tell you, well, it's because of some subscription that you have, even though you don't have a subscription. What do you perceive, or what options are available for consumers there when you're then failed by your own bank?
Yeah. So I'm going to say I've actually been one of those consumers in the past. Here's the thing, is that I'm based in Cape Town. I've had small amounts of Uber fees come off my account, but it was in Johannesburg, and I wasn't in the city. So for me, the most important thing is obviously looking at the black and white detail every single month, and that is your statements, right? It is the first step in identifying whether or not these things are happening, because remember, most of us only get an SMS or an email when it's more than 100 Rand, and that's in my case. So it could be different for everybody else, but I know that that's what happens to me and a few others. So it's so easy to take 50 bucks here, 20 bucks here, 99 Rand here and there, because chances are you're not going to notice that as quickly as if it were thousands of Rand. So I've got two tips. One is ensure you are looking at your statements every single month. And if you do pick up any inaccuracies, approach your bank. You can reverse some of them, but I think the key thing here is immediate action. That is the one thing. And the second thing is a very, very crucial thing, which I don't think we as South African consumers are doing enough of, is getting familiar and understanding the value that a credit score or a free credit report offers you. Because it is often in those situations, and I know of at least 5 people who, through checking their credit score and report, found out that there was fraudulent activity. So I think, you know, and this is not something you have to pay for. This is something you can access for free. Even through Just Money, you can get your free credit score. And it very quickly gives you all your debts, your commitments, your financial obligations, what you've managed to pay, how much you owe, what your debt to income ratio is, and that just means how much you're earning versus how much you're having to spend on your debt. And then also, if you're under a debt counseling, you know, if you've got any flags on your name, and that could be a really key indicator if there is something fishy happening. So wise is to check your monthly statements every single month, ensure that you sit with them and go through them line item by line item. And the second one is keep abreast of your credit score. So important.
So at the end of the day, just like your mother will tell you, take stock of your own life and take responsibility. Shafeeka Anthony, Just Money Marketing Manager, thank you very much for joining us this afternoon.